September 23rd, 2020. Welcome back to Small Town Sports Central Kansas. This evening we start off with an interview with two of the best cross-country runners in the area, then move over to tennis and volleyball before circling back for a football recap featuring Remington's first win of the season, CKL highlights, Canton Galva, and Chase County.
This is Preston Ensign with the Canton Galva's Interactive Media Team interviewing with Christian Dara, a state cross-country runner that plays.
So I'm here with our cross-country runner, Morgan Becker. He's ranked 5th in 2A, I think. Absolute stud muffin.
How's the season been so far?
It's been great as usual. Been getting some good runs in and just getting stronger every week and better every week.
How do you stay motivated when you don't want to run?
I just think about how much it's going to hurt if I don't run the next day, because you're going to have like side cramps and everything. It's just going to be even worse to run the next day, so I just think about that.
How does it feel to know that you're going to be in the top 10 this year at state?
Feels good to be ranked in the top 10 for state this year. Just waiting to see what classification we're in, trying to figure out where regionals are going to be, and knowing that state will be a different location this year is pretty, just different. So.
What are your goals for this season?
I'm trying to run at least a 1640 this year and place top 5 in state. So.
This is Paul Clements from Haven High School with today's volleyball report. Haven High School had the chance to host 2 triangulars in the month of September, the only 2 that they get to host this year. The first one was a replacement for the Coleman Classic, and instead was a triangular with Cheney and Inman, and that was on Saturday, September 12th. First game for Haven against Cheney ended up with Cheney taking 2 sets, 25-15 on the first one and 25-16 on the second. In the middle game of the triangular, Cheney and Inman went 3 sets, with Inman taking the first set 25-19 and Cheney taking the second set 25-12. The third set went to Cheney High School as they beat Inman 25-19. Haven later went up against Inman and also lost in 2 sets, 25-17 and 25-19. The very next Tuesday, September 15th, was the second and last time that Haven had the chance to host a triangular this season. And it was with Halstead and Nickerson. Haven started off the night going up against Halstead. They both split their first 2 sets. Haven taking the first one 25-18, Halstead 25-14 on the second set. The third set was fairly close, but Halstead edged away with the victory, 25-20. The Halstead Dragons then faced off against CKO rivals, Nickerson High School. The first set went to Nickerson 25-22. The second set went to Halstead 25-23. All 3 sets were very close. Halstead took the win in the end, 25-23 in the third set. night finally finished with CKL rivals Nickerson and Haven, with Nickerson winning straight sets 25-12 and 25-17 respectively. This has been your volleyball report from Haven, Kansas. I'm Paul Clements with Small School Sports.
This week in Small Town Sports Central Kansas Tennis Roundup, we feature the Smoky Valley Vikings at the Ellsworth Invitational last Thursday. Featured here is Carrick Elliott and Lena Rockholtz. They would win the two doubles final, beating Sterling doubles team of Aubrey Anderson and Riley Richter 8-0. Also taking home a first place medal was Carrie Adam of Smoky Valley in number 2 singles, defeating Chapman's Sophie Jones 8-7 in the final. Ellsworth number 2 doubles team of Nicole Haas and Maggie Windholtz would defeat Sterling's Kate Rowland and Carissa Wilson for the gold. The Vikings would win the team title over host Ellsworth, with Sterling third. On Saturday at Lindsborg, Smoky Valley hosted the round-robin Smoky Valley Invitational. Here we see Rowland and Wilson of Sterling at number 1 doubles, upsetting Elliott and Rockholtz of Smoky Valley 8-3. Sterling, Bueller, and Smoky Valley would all tie for first, with Sterling winning the tiebreaker and taking home the gold. Sterling's Riley Richter and Aubrey Anderson took home silvers in number 1 and number 2 singles, respectively. Smoky Valley's two doubles team of Riley Alstead and Campbell Gaskell would take first. Bueller would win the meet with Sterling second and the Vikings third. That's it for Small Town Sports Tennis Roundup.
This week, we will start in the Central Kansas League. Haven defeated Larned by a score of 46-43. Smoky Valley traveled to Hillsboro and got their first win of the season, 38-36 over the Trojans. Both teams now stand at 1-2. Heston traveled out to Pratt and came home with a 24-15 victory. Alstead made the journey to Hoisington, and the Cardinals won 32-22. We'll start off with some Holstead highlights here. Try a little run. It's a good stop. Looks like Lincoln Farmer with the carry. Maybe 60-yard run to the house. Almost, yeah. To the house. I think he had 197 yards on 23 carries and a touchdown. 34 picks up the fumble, running it back. Into the heart of the America League, we're going to first start with the 8-man game between Mountain Ridge and Bennington. The Wildcats grabbed their first win, 48-38. That game was a shootout. Everyone else in that league played out-of-league games. Trinity was won 35-0 over Belle Plaine. Oakley defeated El Saline 34-7, and Sterling fell at Chaparral 17-7. Kingman beat Marion 49-6, and Cedric hosted Jefferson West after a bye week came away victorious by a score of 35-7. And Remington traveled in the big city, getting a win at Independent by a score of 55-30. Some Remington highlights here. Quarterback around the edge for a touchdown. Fullback up the middle. Good long run for a touchdown. Quarterback rolls out, throws it deep, brings it in for a touchdown. Fullback up the middle again for a touchdown. Throw it deep again for a touchdown. Another give to the running back. He's going to score. Almost. Never mind. And quarterback throws.
So we'll start off with some scores from this week. In the NCAA, Southeast of Saline shut out its opponent for the second week with a 42-0 win over Ellsworth. And Inman traveled to Sacred Heart where the Teutons came home with a victory 50-0. Move over to Burton that lost to Moscow in the six-man game 55-7. Fairfield lost to St. John 34-32 with St. John's first win since either last year or 2 years ago. And Central Christian lost to South Barber 46-22. It was close in the beginning, but at the end it wasn't. And Skyline defeated Pretty Prairie by a score of 36-18. Those are some of the scores, and we'll move on to the Wheat State League. Solomon defeated Center 56-26. Gossel fell at Little River 64-18. Gossel put up a pretty good fight at the beginning. Redskins bounced back after their tough road trip last week at Clifton Clyde. Peabody hosted Stafford and picked up their first win of the year in a shootout 64-62 win. Wow, that's a high-scoring game right there. Kenton Galva traveled to Washington County to take on the Tigers. Eagles come home victorious 48-0 in the third quarter. We'll start off with highlights from Kenton Galva. Garrett Maltby hands it off to Collins, and he gets in for the touchdown after hitting someone. And then we got Garrett. Oh, he goes, breaks one tackle, two, jukes someone, and I think he scores. That man's pretty fast. Central Kansas Player of the Month. Then we got, looks like the Eagles on defense. And looks like TJ Kane looks like a little slide with the quarterback out of bounds. Washington County drops back to pass. Garrett Maltby in coverage. Oh, pick. Wow. And we'll shout out Garrett Maltby for Central Kansas Player of the Month. So wrapping up, we'll go to the Flint Hills League where the Chase County Bulldogs bounced back with a big win over the Dragons from Valley Falls 50-0. Now we'll head over to Chase County. Looks like punt to, I think, Trent Rogers. Juice a player out. Wow. Goes right up the middle. Jukes to the punter, and I think he's going to score, it looks like. Yes, sir. And Chase County breaks up the middle again on a run, and another score by Chase County. Chase County, fake toss outside, quarterback keep, and he scores. Quarterback pass complete. Oh, bear crawling with one arm, and he stays up, and he scores.
Remember, use the hashtag SmallTownSports so we can find your highlights and get them featured on next week's episode. Thank you very much.